Great. So my dissertation was writing and playing about the performance of masculinity in a specific constitution, which is the restaurant kitchen. So when my work in progress last term, I talked about how the main kind of thing that I had to overcome was this stepping away from naturalism. I was trying to find a suitable voice that would kind of work with this, the kind of play that I wanted to write, because I wanted to try and capture lots of different voices, and I found naturalism quite restricting. Over the last kind of 4 or 5 months, I've been trying to write this play, and it's kind of gone in very different directions until eventually I kind of decided this is how I want it to be, and it's kind of gone on from there. But I'll just recap for those who weren't there in the work in progress, that the play that I wanted to write, I was kind of inspired by the work of John McGrath. In it, I wanted it to kind of be entertaining and accessible, while at the same time trying to achieve efficacy by presenting various discourses of masculinity and then undermining them. The play that what ended up being the play, in terms of structure, has kind of been inspired by plays like Ghost City by Gary Owens, or Pornography by Simon Stevens, in the sense that it's lots of separate sections. But what I wanted to try and do was try and keep them more linked than, for example, what Pornography does. So I'll just read the plot kind of that I came up with. The plot thing. Bella and Vista, a popular Italian restaurant in a small town in Scotland, is under investigation for tax evasion. However, as various voices share their stories and memories about the restaurant and its infamous owner, Marco, a darker truth unravels. This four-hander shows over 15 characters talk about the restaurant and the sexual assault allegations made of its Iranian manager, Marco. Switching between monologues and dialogues, Bella and Vista attempts to question notions of gender, identity, and McGrath kind of lists, he lists the 9 differences between the interests and desires of bourgeoisie audiences and those of working class audiences, which is directness, comedy, music, emotion, variety, effect, immediacy, localism, and sense of identity. And I've tried to kind of encompass all of that into this. So when you hear it, then afterwards, if you tell me whether you think that has worked or not. And also I took from the session last time, I took ideas from what people said. For example, I remember Tim talking about the idea of the smoking alley in the restaurant, and as you'll see, that plays a big part. And also, what he raised the point of who has the power of being able to speak to the audience, who gets that right. So what I've tried to do is give everyone that right. So if you guys are ready. Scene 1. Greg is a chef in his early 40s.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone ready to see some theatre? Aye, good. Right, where do I start? Well, where does the story start? It's a good question. See, that's the thing. It started years ago. Yes, centuries ago we learned to write, to communicate. It started then. It's not a new story. It's the oldest. The oldest, maybe, I don't know. He's getting about she's getting about it thinking, I don't blame him. I would. It's not a new story, you could have stayed at home. You'll recognise all the characters. I don't have different names, but you'll know them. They might be from different places, have different backgrounds, but they're all the same. I mean, we're all the fucking same, aren't we? I mean, you'll know me. You will, trust me. She knows me. That's it. You think you know me. But if you didn't recognise me at first, you're beginning to place me. Trying to work me out. You know, based on what? My clothes? How I talk? My accent? My hair? Go on then, guess. What do I do? What do I like? What do I eat? What films do I like? What books do I read? Do I read it all? Where do I work? What's my job? Did I hear someone at the back say astrophysicist? No, of course I fucking did. Why? Why not? You don't fucking know, do you? How could you? Physics, the study of matter, how things work. I never got physics. Studying things we can't see, things that are working constantly in play, and we can't even see them. Same with lots of jobs though, eh? I'm working unnoticed. It's like my last job, my last job. Anyway, I'm a chef. And that's the point. In restaurants, I mean, that's why people go to them in the first place, so you can eat a meal without having to do the work. The work's not meant to be noticed. You come in, you order, you sit down, you order your food, maybe order a bottle of wine, maybe 2 bottles of wine, then you eat your food, maybe get a dessert, coffee, pay, leave a tip if you can afford to, and leave. The work is meant to go unnoticed. See, while you're doing that, we're making your food and everyone else is sweating like pregnant nuns all day, every day of the week, every week of the year, apart from holidays. You know, a couple of weeks in January or a week over summer sometimes. See, that's what this story is about. The unnoticed and what's been unnoticed. Since men first started wearing trousers and women started wearing skirts, what is constantly going on today unnoticed? Why, last week, did I buy my nephew an Action Man and not a Barbie? He knows what I want, she knows what I want. Why did my sister paint her spare bedroom blue when she found out she was having a boy, not pink? See, something's there, like the physics working unnoticed. It's there at work, at home, in schools, in the bar, at the gym, on the telly, in the news, in the pictures. What makes us, what built and is constantly building us, is working right now. Like us in this fucking kitchen, unnoticed.
2. Chris is a taxi driver in his mid-50s.
I've never been myself. Not for years after it opened. Never got round to it. I mean, I picked up plenty of folk coming from the place, and I never heard a bad word about it. About the food, about the service, about him, never. It was one of those places. I booked to go about 4 times, but that's the thing with the taxi business. You don't know when there's going to be work. I book a table for a Saturday night, and just before we'd set off, I get a job in Edinburgh. I always eat out on Saturdays, every Saturday. But usually I have to go to the chippy. Don't have to book there. So, when I finally got round to it, to going, Eileen and I, we went on our anniversary. I wasn't working that day, and it was very good. Very good. A couple of people complain about prices now and then, but I tell them, you are paying for authenticity. That's what you pay for. This is no Pizza Express, no ZZ's, no Bella Italia. It's in a different league. Bella in Vista is family run. You're paying for the real deal. The food is Italian, you know, not just pizza and pasta. Well, I mean, they do pizzas and pastas. They do veal, they do steaks, the bar's fully stocked, prosecco, grappa, everything. And the walls are covered in photographs of the manager's family and ancestors. No, not just the generic photos of Italy most places have. Marco's grandfather in uniform, his parents' wedding day, and all that. And they've got live banding on the weekends, you know. Traditional Italian music. It's the whole experience. If anyone asks me where's good to eat round here, where would I recommend? I'd always say Bella in Vista, always. Third words out of my mouth every time. That's a popular place. But with success comes, criticism. In whatever it is you do, manage a restaurant, banking, teaching or taxi driving, whatever it is you do, with success comes criticism. If you make it big, people will always try and bring you down. Survival of the fittest and all that. No one likes a threat. You know, love thy neighbour as long as they don't earn more than you. As long as their wife's slightly less attractive. As long as they're not taking our jobs. No one likes that threat. So whatever these allegations are against Marco in the restaurant, I'm not buying them. I don't believe any of it. Someone's threatened. Well, there should be. It's an authentic Italian. First we've had here, I'll tell you that. And that's what you pay for. Authenticity. The real deal.
3. An American couple. Richard is in his late 40s, June is in her mid-50s.
Every summer.
Most summers, though not last summer.
No, not last summer.
2011, that was the last time we were here.
Most summers.
We stayed at the Gulf Hotel, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
It was.
Well, It was.
I mean, the view was fantastic, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was.
The library suite, wasn't it?
Very spacious.
It was, yes, very spacious.
With a sea view. I mean, it would have been nice if it hadn't been raining the whole time, but then it wouldn't be Scotland. It wouldn't be Scotland.
And we love Scotland, don't we?
One of my favourite places in the world. I always say that. One of my favourite places in the world.
He does.
I said it last week. No place like it. And I travel a lot with work.
He's head of a PR firm.
Well, I mean, it's not final. It's not. I mean, but yeah, I've seen the world, haven't I?
Yes.
And I can say, hand on heart, one of my favourite places.
And the hotel was amazing, wasn't
It
it?
was.
And it looks onto the course, so if you come here to play
Well,
golf...
obviously they were coming here to play golf.
I know, but I'm just saying, if that's your main priority...
Of course it will be. It's a good town, don't get me wrong.
His favourite place.
Exactly, my favourite place, but we come here for golf.
You come here for golf.
Everyone comes here for golf. My wife and I have always been friends with some old friends of ours. Bill and Kathleen, I worked with him years back. One year we all wanted to go on holiday together and our boss recommended this place, so we looked it up.
On the internet.
Yeah, and we saw pictures.
Beaches.
And we said, what the heck? And it was great. Bill and I would play on the course in the morning, the girls went to the spa, then we'd walk around the town.
Sightseeing.
And then we'd go out for dinner to the little Italian place.
Bella in Vista.
Bella in Vista, that's right.
Which was just fantastic. Really authentic.
It was a great week. So after that, it sort of became a tradition every summer.
Most summers. Not last summer.
No, not last summer. See, last year, well, Bill and Kathleen were going through some marital problems.
Bill left Kathleen for his secretary.
Now wait a second, June.
His male secretary. His male secretary, Ralph. A man.
Well, yes, but good for him, that's what I say. He was obviously unhappy, now he's happy. Anyway, so,
Good for him. What about her?
what about her?
Bill was cheating on Kathleen with his secretary for 6 months before he told her. 6 months.
June, we don't need to go into the...
Then Bill and Ralph moved to Portugal, leaving Kathleen alone in Boston. She's not even any family there. She's wanted kids for the last 10 years or so. He kept putting it off. Now she's alone and probably will never have children. What an asshole.
Now hang on a second.
And he hasn't kept in touch with us, not even a Christmas card.
You have to understand, Bill was from a conservative family. It took Bill a long time to come to terms with his, with his sexual preference.
Long enough to ruin Kathleen's life.
June?
I'm sorry, but it's true. Every time I tell the Bill and Kathleen story, people say, good for him, and I'm sick of it. What about her? I just think if Kathleen had left Bill for a woman...
June, for God's sake.
If Kathleen had left Bill for a woman, you wouldn't say, good for her. It wouldn't be poor him.
Can we talk about this another time? Well, that's why we didn't make it last year, sorry. So, the Italian place. Bella in Vista, right. Since that first time, we have been every year.
Not last year.
No, not last year, but most years. We love it. Marco, the manager, knows us. Once we turned up at about 10:30, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
We've been sightseeing all day.
In Edinburgh.
Nowhere else open. So we turn up at this place. The chefs had started clearing up, you know, they stopped serving food, but he said, Marco said, no problem, and he gave us a table. We were the only people in the restaurant. So I don't know anything about tax evasion, the place seemed pretty clean.
It was authentic.
And whatever else he's accused of, I don't know about that. We know the guy, he knows us, and I don't think, I mean, he's not that sort of guy. Marco and his wife.
Ruth.
Right, Ruth. Marco and Ruth, they were great, we loved them. They were always perfect, you know, they were the perfect double act every summer.
Not last summer.
No. Not last summer.
Alice is a student in her mid-20s.
It never bothered me. It didn't bother anyone really, but apart from Nairi, but that's different. I mean, she was different. She wasn't normal. But no one else ever had any problems or complained or anything. It was his system, and it worked. You know, I mean, you can't say that it didn't. I mean, it worked. And if it ain't broke, why fix it? We got paid bi-weekly, cash in hand. Obviously, we knew that it wasn't. I mean, we knew it wasn't legal, but we didn't say anything. You know, I mean, we should have said something. But well, why would we complain? I mean, cash in hand, no tax. Half of us were students, the other half were in the country illegally, basically. But I mean, we needed a job, we needed the money, so why say something? Why would we say something? You know, he was a good boss, he was good to us, he was loyal, understanding. If I ever needed a certain day or night off, he gave it to me, no trouble. After every shift we'd be fed, sometimes he'd even let us drink leftover wine. I've worked as a waitress in about 5 different places now, and here at Bella in Vista, I was treated the best. What happened with Nairi, she wasn't like us, like the rest of us, the waitresses. She wasn't, she didn't fit in the same way. I don't think that, I don't really know what happened. All I know is that one moment she was working split shifts every day for months over the summer. The next, Marco starts cutting her shifts down until she left eventually. She got a job at the Mexican restaurant near the church. That's all I know for sure. But what she says, what she claims to have happened, I think you have to take everything she says with a pinch of salt. You know, she wasn't normal. So I don't think you should take anything she says too seriously. Marco was good to us, and I think she took it for granted. She was young. I mean, she didn't know. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. That's what I've learned after 4 years of working in places like this. You don't. You just don't. She bit the hand, and that's why she lost her job. That's what happens. I mean, you know, he could be a bit inappropriate, but he's a man. Sure, he flirted with us, but we flirted back. But it was harmless. It was harmless. It never bothered me. It never bothered anyone apart from Nairi. What does that say?
5.
Bella in Vista opened in May 2008 and immediately caused a buzz among locals. The family-run restaurant proved incredibly popular over the years to both locals and tourists alike. Marketed as the town's only authentic Italian restaurant, Bella in Vista was voted 3rd in the Courier's list for 50 best restaurants in Fife. 4 years later, manager Marco Buccianuta and the restaurant is under investigation for tax evasion.
25th of July 2012 at Bella in Vista. A couple of months before it all kicked off. It's a normal day, or as long as they get here. It's about 11 in the morning, first bag of the day.
Smoking alley behind the restaurant. Greg and Leon are smoking. Leon is a Hungarian chef and an ex-semi-professional football player in his early 30s.
So I tell her, I'm still recovering from having my heart broken, right? I'm losing the only thing I give 2 shits about. I tell her how my ex-girlfriend fucked me up, all that, how she emotionally wounded me. You know how it's been hard for me to move on, like to be with other women. I tell her she's the first girl I've kissed, you know, the first girl I've touched since, right? Because before I couldn't bear touching someone that wasn't her, how it made me sick and all that place, you know. And she says she's seen this new side to me, you know, an emotional side to me, a side she didn't expect. Then she talks about her own life and how she's been with some proper cunts and that, and I tell her we've all been with a proper cunt at some point, and she smiles. So we're lying there, and I'm holding her in my arms, like I'm protecting her from all these things. Like I'm Humphrey Bogart and she's Ingrid Bergman, and then she looks at me, she gives me that look, right, you know, that fucking look. When she gives you that look, you know then you've just earned yourself the best fucking blowjob you've got. I'm fucking telling you, the whole works, man, was class.
Ex-girlfriend.
Aye, ex-girlfriend. Talking about my ex-girlfriend to my new girlfriend, like, eh?
New girlfriend.
Aye, new girlfriend. Talking about my ex-girlfriend to my new girlfriend got me laid. Got me sex. Got me fucked.
Ah, fucked new girlfriend.
Aye, fucked the new girlfriend. Last night.
Nice.
We all do though, eh? Like make our past sound better than it was. To girls, tell a story like better than they were. Tell it like a film plot so you come out better. Eh? So you're the victim. I mean, imagine if I told her how it was, and yeah, how it really was. How would that sound? Yeah, how would that go down? I mean, yeah, my last girlfriend, the one that broke my heart. Well, she was actually my wife for 6 years. 6 years. I caught her fucking the neighbour. An arsehole lawyer from Aberdeen. She never caught me fucking his wife. We divorced 6 months ago. That's not very long, is it? It's not enough, is it? 6 months. It's nothing. You're right, I'm probably having a fucking breakdown. I mean, why the fuck do you think I'm pulling you? Eh? I mean, you know, I still think about you, my ex-girlfriend at night, you know, before I sleep, eh? But I'm lonely. You know what I'm saying? when I want sex. When I want sex. I think of my ex-girlfriend when I want sex.
Yes.
Aye, when I want sex. I think of her then. I do think of her then. And when I see my family, you know, because they got on. She loved my parents. They always ask after her. So, you know, I think of her from time to time, but I mean, did she change my life? No. I mean, did she break my heart? No. Did she emotionally ruin me? Did she fuck? Did she was a fucking whore? I mean, I've taken shit's more memorable, eh? I broke my heart. Well, like she broke my heart. She fucking emotionally stoked my ass with a feather. That's what she fucking did. That's the closest she got to here. Alright, but you can't fucking tell them that, can you? I mean, you can't tell the story like that, because I mean, what's better? If you were a lassie, what's better? If you were a girl, like, what would you want to hear? That or the wounded thing? The whole fucking James Dean, like, tough exterior, but like that fucking, film, the fucking Love Actually, like that inside, you know? Emotional and deep and that. That's what they want. Hard on the outside, soft on the inside, like a cream egg. Like Rocky Balboa crossed with Elton fucking John. That's what they want. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? You don't fucking clue what I'm saying, do you, pal? Fucking pouring my heart into a fucking wall. Right, I'll make the tiramisu.
The investigation of Marco Cucinotta and popular restaurant Bella in Vista continues as new allegations have been made of the Italian manager. Bella in Vista, after opening in 2008, have only...
It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The weather's not shite for once, so we'll be rammed in about 20 minutes, eh? Second fag of the day.
Yeah,
Will, Otto, Leon and Greg are smoking. Otto is the Italian head chef in his 40s. Will is a university student in his 20s.
I've worked with Marco for 20 years. I worked with him in his first place, in Italian cafe in Sterling. 20 years ago. Cafe Bella. Then, since on and on, we are like Charles and Camilla. On, off.
Whereabouts in Italy is he from? Marco, I mean, Rome?
Further east.
San Marino? What, Venice?
Majid Asadi was born in Tehran, in Iran. No, Italy. He changed his name years ago. Didn't he?
We work in Cafe Bella. We pick a name out the hat.
Are you joking?
Anyone can speak Italian.
Well, no.
Neither does
but-
anyone, because he's Iranian. He lived in Italy for like 5 years or so, but he can't speak it. Come on, I mean, he just has to wear the fucking Prada suit with the slick back hair and the moustache and the gestures, and no one bats an eyelid. Right? He's an Italian in their eyes, even if he never speaks a fucking word. When I first started working at this table, started asking him where he was from. Like, he used to correct him back then, because I asked. So he goes, Iran. And this woman's like, oh, me and my husband go to Milan every summer. And then he goes like, Iran. And she's like, yes, Milan. We love it. We've been to Venice. So we gave up. Made the most out of it. Since then, it's been an act. The only authentic Italian in town. Authentic, my ball sack.
And that's the farm. That's what I thought. Yeah. So, does anyone have any questions or comments or feedback?
We just keep going.
Do you have any ideas about how you would want to stage this?
Yeah. When I write, I try and write it so that how I would stage it isn't in the text. So the way that the script's written is each character separate, and there's no mention. If you wanted, just by looking at the script, you could do it with a cast of 14 or whatever. But if I did it, I would have 4 male actors, and I would do it you'd see everything. So that I would have like 4 coat stands at the back of the stage with all the props, and you would see them change while one person's talking or whatever, and it would all be in front of you, so that the idea that it's all performance, you know, it's all constructed, so that you can see it all happen. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have sort of an idea of where it will go from here?
Yeah, I've worked out, so it's going to kind of follow that day, because at the end of that day is the day where Marco rapes one of the waitresses, Nairi, the one that David's character was talking about earlier on. So it's going to show that day unfold. I think I might stick with that structure for a bit of the first fag of the day, second fag of the day, because I know that the last scene of the play is going to be the last fag of the day. So it's going to kind of go along that lines until it will, and interspersed with that, I'm going to put, like I did with the first kind of 3 scenes, just random characters, or characters around talking about it. That's the plan.
I presume then that means that you're going to lose the game.
Yeah, I think
Can you talk a little bit about that arc?
yeah, I think. I don't think I don't think you should ever lose it completely. I don't think you just go from first half of the play funny, second half no laughs at all. Obviously, I'll try and kind of keep it, but I do want it to get darker. I tried to put a couple of monologues in here which hinted at something dark, but I wanted to keep this kind of half of the show light, and then it's going to get. I didn't want it to get darker. I think I want to kind of show more about the corruption of this restaurant and Marco as this kind of corrupt symbol of masculinity. Is that everything? Well, thanks everyone for coming.
Well done.